Yes, guys, welcome back to the Irish Hotspurs with your boy Dave and Jack, bringing you your channel predictions as Tottenham head to Goodison Park for an early kickoff. First team to play in the Premier League this weekend, and if we win, it's a chance to put pressure on Arsenal, who have Liverpool this weekend. Jack, it signals the end to a very busy week.
These usually seem to end in pretty boring sort of draws of some sort of nature. So I'm curious to see if Spurs will break that mold, and if any of our creator predictions, have that in mind. Maybe we'll get a lot of draws, or usually I bet we'll get some resounding wins, though.
Look, I'm hoping for a win. I just want to cap what is a very busy sort of week, and hopefully Spurs can stand up to the test, because top four is now ours to lose. So let's get after it, and let's get into the creators' predictions, and let's start with the one and only Shawnee from Spurs Talk Show.
Yes, guys, Sean here from the Spurs Talk Show. I hope you're all well. This is my Everton prediction. Look, tough game on Saturday morning. We don't usually do too well in morning kickoffs, but I do think we have quite a good record away at Everton in general. And look, Everton are on the sort of back end of a second hammer blow for their survival hopes. Probably their impending second points deduction has taken the wind out of their sails and knocked the stuffing out of them a little bit. And so Tottenham have to take advantage. It's not going to be easy. They're a very physical team, and I think that they will set up in the low block and try to counterpunch us, much like a lot of these teams do these days. And Tottenham will have to be better than we were in the first half when we had all the possession against Brentford but couldn't unlock the door. I think having Pape Sarr back, I'm expecting him to be back, will be a really important difference for this time round. I think it will settle down our midfield, and I'm hoping to see some stronger performances from the other guys in the midfield. A few more minutes in Maddison's legs. I think he grew into the game for sure on Wednesday, and I think he'll be better for Everton. So I'm going to sit here and say, guys, I'm running out of time. I'm going to say 2-1 to Tottenham. Maddison gets on the score sheet. Richie continues his rich vein of form, and I think it's, as I say, a tough game, but not a challenge that is not insurmountable for the mighty Tottenham. But we have to be a little bit more smart with the way we go about it. Everton will be clever in the way that they will set up and will try and frustrate us. And if we get sloppy at the back, then we could also give away unnecessary opportunities. 2-1 Tottenham. Sorry this is too long, Dave and Jack. But you lot in the Flat Cap Army, make sure you are liking and subscribing to this fantastic channel and these fantastic guys. Come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs. Great prediction, Sean. No shame in going over if it's a great prediction like that one. And he's so right on so many levels. I think he's covered plenty of what makes this, a difficult fixture. Definitely a tough one to predict. Very physical battle, and we'll see how Spurs can match that. But also, right, the bravado of Sean Dyche always gets brought up a lot, but maybe he can be a bit clever as well, Mr. Sean Dyche, and he might set up a way that could cause us some problems, or at least give us something to think about. But Dave, he's gone for a 2-1. Will that be a common prediction today?
If they're using their heads, they will. Tottenham don't do well at half-12 kickoffs. The last half-12 kickoff we ended up losing to Wolves back in November. So, they're very hard to get going. But look, like Sean says, it's going to be a tricky game, right? They're going to live up to their nickname, the Toffees. They're always a tricky sweet to eat, depending on the strength of your teeth, Jack. So, we know what they're going to do. They look to aerially bombard us last time out. They're going to do the exact same again. It's their strength, it's our weakness. And hopefully we can stand up to that test. And hopefully Pape Sarr will be back. I know he's had a long journey back. Postecoglou sort of said he'll weigh that up. But I think we need him. We badly missed him in that midfield. He sort of protects us a lot on the counter-attack or from the counter-attack. So he'll be a huge plus if he starts.
Definitely so. And Shawnee, 2-1, and we'll see what the Sunny Talk Spurs has to say.
What's going on, Dave and Jack? It's Sunny from Sunny Talk Spurs, and you want my prediction for Everton versus Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League this weekend. Everton drew 0-0 with Fulham midweek. Obviously, we've come off the back of that dramatic game against Brentford. Don't think this is going to be an easy fixture. I still think Everton are going to prove to be tricky to break down when you think about it. Ange and Sean Dyche have two different scales of the managerial realm. You've got the very attacking football versus the very defensive football. But even with it being tricky, I can still see us getting some goals against Everton. Don't think they've really pulled up any trees this season with their -10 points deduction. think they've been quite middle of the road. So I'm going to go for 2-1. It will be a bit tricky, but I can see us breaking them down gradually Yeah, pretty confident in that regard. And also, I will be on the pre-match preview to give Dave and Jack a little bit more heat ahead of this one. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs, 2-1. And we received another one from Sonny. Love the Duff shirt as well, Dave. So maybe he'll be rocking up with that one game day, but definitely need some Spurs, kind of, gear on too. And yeah, Sonny, he's gone for a 2-1 as well. I think he covered a lot of what Sean had to say as well. It's just going to be a tough, tricky fixture, and as it should be, because it's never really been that easy for us going away from home to Goodison Park. I can't really remember a time when we've had just an easy time over there.
No, we haven't. Even though I remember Conte's first game, it stunk the place out. It was either 0-0 or we got out 1-0. It's always been tight. I remember going up there under Jose Mourinho Cup and being pumped 5-4 or 5-3, whatever it was. So it's never going to be an easy game. We have to be on it today. We have to scrap for everything. This is the old saying goes for this game. You have to earn the right to play, and this is exactly what's going to happen here in this game. Just quickly, Sonny, we need to have more conversation over clothes, because I feel like me and you have the same sort of dress sense. Maybe a shopping trip on the cards, my man. Big yourselves up. Let's keep it moving. Let's hear what my boy Lee has to say.
Lee, and I love this shirt that he's rocking as well, so definitely hear what he has to say. Looking smart.
Hey everyone, Lee the Dorset Spur back with another prediction. Wow, I didn't quite get it right, did I? I did say we were going to score 3 goals, but that was a lot harder work than I thought it was going to be versus Brentford. They come thick and fast. I think this is going to be another very, very difficult game. I don't think there's any easy games in the Premier League. I really, really don't. So, for me, I think Everton, they really are trying to pull their results together to keep themselves in this league, fighting for each other. And I think there's a good camaraderie within that team. So I think they're going to be difficult. But now that we've got Maddison with nearly 90 minutes under his belt, Bentancur getting stronger, hopefully Sarr is now going to be back as well. Maybe he comes back into the team and gives us a little bit more. Brennan Johnson getting off the mark as well. The squad just look like it's getting a little bit stronger. So I think we'll have too much for them. I think we've got more about us than they have. So, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be a tight 1-0 win. But I'll be happy with that. I'll take it. 3 points is 3 points. Up the Spurs.
3 points is 3 points. You definitely take it. A 1-0. So we'll find a way to keep a clean sheet as well over at Goodison Park. That'll definitely be a tough ask. I could see them scoring. But of course, usually see Spurs scoring as well. It's just, can we get enough to get over the line? Dave, is a clean sheet on the cards potentially?
I would hope so. I do subscribe to the fact that, these half-12 kickoffs, there's not an awful lot of goals in them. However, fun stat, we haven't kept a clean sheet in 13 games. So, that run has to sort of come to an end at some point. And I do hope it is tomorrow, because that run of clean sheets that we were able to sort of keep in the first 10 games was the catalyst for us to be able to get over the line. And, Tottenham Hotspur, yes, we've scored in every single Premier League game this season, but we find it hard to score 3-4 sort of goals sometimes to kill teams off. So we have to get back to keeping clean sheets and being able to get 1-2-0 wins where we can to make the games a hell of a lot easier. So I do hope that Lee's score prediction comes true, Jack, because you know me, you know how much I love a clean sheet.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think at this stage, you probably would be celebrating a clean sheet almost more than celebrating maybe 3 goals, in the back of the net. So I think Vicario as well probably is in a similar bracket. He needs a clean sheet after his hard work so far this season. Love that shirt, Lee. Great prediction as always. Let's hope that you're right. Would love that this prediction of a 1-0 gets right. But let's see what Holly has to say. And maybe this time we'll get a Ledley King prediction as well. But big up to Holly. And check out Holly's Hotspurs as well.
Hello, yes, it's me, Holly Agwal from Holly's Hotspurs, here to give my match preview. Hopefully we'll be doing some more darts at Goodison Park at the weekend. It was obviously great to get that win against Brentford at home, especially in the circumstances that it was and the way we played first half. I'm hoping when we go to Everton we actually start the game quick and maintain that. It's not going to be a hard game. That cliche thing of no game in the Premier League's easy. It's going to be a difficult one, but I'm hoping that Richarlison is going to carry on his form and get a goal against obviously his old team. I think there might be one change. I'm hoping we see Sarr straight into the lineup over the likes of Højbjerg or Skip. I think Højbjerg's done okay when he comes off on the bench, but I want to see Sarr back in there, and I think Ange will do that. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one. I think I'm going to go 3-1. It was just a bit odd to say at the start when I said this wasn't going to be easy, but I think once we get into our momentum and it all kicks in, I'm feeling 3-1. So come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs, indeed. 3-1. Here's the thing, though. A 3-1 doesn't have to be totally convincing. Like, I've seen plenty of 3-1s where you sort of feel like, it's a bit complimentary or a bit too nice to maybe the team that ended up grabbing all 3 points. Even I remember, what was it, Man United beat Newport County in their recent sort of FA Cup fixture, and I felt like, the scoreline did sort of flatter Man United to a degree when watching that game, just because they really were should be embarrassed to have conceded, twice to a team like Newport County. But I mean, a 3-1, I definitely take it, Dave. But do you see that happening? Scoring 3 goals away from home, Goodison Park? Can we do that?
I think, look, it's 3 games within the space of 7-8 days. I mean, it's a huge ask for us to go out there with sort of high intensity energy levels going out there. It depends for me whether Ange Postecoglou makes some subs to maybe freshen it up. You can see in previous games, the impact of Johnson coming off the bench, Højbjerg came off the bench. It really sort of freshened things up from Tottenham. So if he does, maybe there is that opportunity, but we will have to be at our clinical sort of best for that to happen. I would love it though, because I do think that if we do score a couple of goals, we're going to be throwing darts everywhere. So Liverpool, beware. And I'm glad that Holly's a fan of darts. I've become a big fan of the darts myself. So look, let's wait and see what happens, Jack. I'd love a 3-1. You know me and you. We love sitting there doing a pigeon dance on a Saturday morning. Richie's on fire. He's looking like the £60 million man we bought. And hopefully he can deliver at Goodison Park, because the more he scores for Tottenham, the more pressure he puts on Calvert-Lewin, who's under firing for Everton.
Dart celebrations and Prue celebrations, Holly. Sounds like a lot of fun. So let's get 3 goals, and definitely should be able to do both of those celebrations at some stage during the watch along. But appreciate you, and thanks for sending the prediction. And thanks to Mia as well from Spurs Between the Lines for sending her prediction. Let's see what she has to say.
Hi, this is Mia from Spurs Between the Lines. This is my prediction for the Everton versus Tottenham game. So overall, we have got a good record against Everton, home and away. And I think the fact that we do have this is a very positive thing. I think that we need to start the game off well. I think that we need to make sure that we don't lose concentration. We don't allow anybody to knock us off our game. We need to just play our game. Also, to be able to control games a little bit better than what we have done in the last few games, and also be a little bit more wise to what they're doing, and try and basically not play into their hands, which I feel like, again, we've sort of done for a couple of games now. Everton haven't really had a great season. They've had a very up and down season. They're currently like 18th. So I don't think there's any reason for us to say we can't beat them or that we shouldn't beat them. So I'm going to predict a 3-1 win for Tottenham. Come on, you Spurs.
Another 3-1 win. We love that. Yeah, nice to see that, at least a couple of people in these predictions are expecting some goals from Spurs. And in a way, Everton are one of those teams, Mia, for me, that probably their sort of position in the table, I think, if it weren't for the points deduction, they would be a very solid sort of mid-table team, I think, this season. And with those sort of sides, you don't really know what you're always going to get. You're either going to get a very tough, hard-nosed type of performance where you really do have to earn it because they're going to make it hard for you. Or sometimes with those sort of teams, that sort of inconsistency will show, hence why they would be in a mid-table sort of position, because certain games they show up and give you a good performance and get the points needed, and then other games, for some reason, they don't. And I think Everton do sort of fit in that bracket, where times when they've lost, they probably have deserved to, then times when they've won, definitely have deserved to. So it's tough with these sort of mid-table teams.
No, it is very tough, especially the way they're going to set up pragmatic, It's sort of, we don't like that. We want teams to come out, be expansive and be open so that we can sort of rip them apart. But one thing I do think is important that Mia sort of said is the fast start. If I remember correctly, when we played them back in December, I think we were 2-0 up inside the first 15, 20 minutes. And that sort of set the tone for the rest of the day, apart from that late Everton flurry. For me, that's exactly what we need to try and do. 12:30 kickoff. We know other teams usually start slow. It's up to us to be our maximum best, ready to go for 12:30 and try and get a couple of early goals to really sort of set the tone for this game, but also settle the nerves, because the longer this goes on where the game's in the balance, the more you'd probably fancy Everton, especially with everything they're scrapping for. The late goals that we concede, it's been a problem this season. So for me, it's imperative that we get off to a very fast start. Well done, Mia.
Well done, Mia. Let's keep our fast starts going. Hopefully we can get that 3-1 win then. See who else has a prediction ahead of us here.
Let's go, Jose.
Hi Dave, hi Jack, it's Jose, El Cockerel, also from Talk and Ball. Here's my prediction for the upcoming match on Saturday, 3rd of February at Goodison, Everton versus Tottenham, early kick-off 12:30. I really don't know where to go with predictions anymore because anything you do predict, Tottenham are unpredictable and do absolutely everything you don't believe that they're going to do. Awful first half the other night. A magical 30 minutes, and then for the last 15 minutes we went back in our shell again, or we didn't look potent enough. Sarr coming back from injury is going to be a plus. Like I normally do, I don't talk about other teams, so I don't care what Everton put in front of us. I've got to predict what we're going to do, and like I said, it's become hard. So with that being said, we finally got the monkey off our back. We scored and we won a game without Kane and Son. So I'm going to go with a Tottenham 3-0 win. Keep supporting the channel, people. Thank you.
3-0 win. That's a big one. Another starting to get these, these predictions starting to heat up a little bit. It's trying to get more convincing by each one here. But he's right. First time Spurs have ever scored and probably even won a game without Kane and Son, if I'm not mistaken. Does definitely give us some confidence there. But is he right saying that Spurs are actually a bit of an inconsistent team themselves? Like, we are actually hard to predict what type of performance we'll get.
We're very inconsistent. I think you look at the amount of points that we picked up and the manner that we picked them up in the first 10 games to the previous 11 that we've just seen. The previous 11 have been very much up and down. Win one week, lose the next week, Our away form hasn't been that great this season either. I believe we haven't won any of or we've only won one of our last 5. So, we do have a problem going away from home. So he is right to the inconsistency. But there are little things that will be ironed out, but you also expect with the manner of our squad, right? We still have to sort of give ourselves a bit more strength and depth, and hopefully that'll iron itself out going into next season.
Definitely so. But I guess, we'll see what Marlon has to say. Maybe he'll give us a 3-0, or I imagine he'll give a prediction that's entirely different from the rest of the crew here. So let's see what Marlon has to say.
Let's go, Marlon.
Dave, Jack, hope you're well. Marlon from Coys TV. My prediction for Everton. At least I got the victory right this time, but didn't get the actual result. So this week, for me, major issue against Brentford. 7 minutes of greatness. Rest of it was awful. I don't think Everton will play the same way, and we do have a good record against Everton, just generally in the Premier League. So I'm gonna go for a 2-2 draw. No, I'm not. I'm going for a 2-1 win. Let's go for a 2-1 win. If we score twice, I think we'll win. If we don't, I think we'll draw. I think we won't lose, but I'm going for either a 2-1 win or a 1-1 draw. We need to step it up. We can't play as we did the other day. So, yeah, that's my prediction for this week. We just got to be quick, fast, and out the blocks. But, yeah, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. 2-1. If we get 2 goals, he said we'll win this game. If we don't, he sees a draw. He finds it hard to see Spurs losing, which I sort of agree with, but the draw is definitely on the cards, I think, in this sort of game. It just has been sort of the common result between us and Everton of recent sort of seasons. But Dave, is he right? If you were to say Spurs scored 2 goals, should they go on and win this game?
Yeah, they should go on and win this game. I don't think Everton have more than 2 goals in them or more than 1 goal in them. They sort of struggle, in that sort of department. So for me, you score 2 goals, you do go on and win the game. I think he's absolutely spot on there. And 2-1 would actually probably be in around my score prediction, We've got some wild score predictions the last few games. And I know people would say, Dave, you've been pragmatic. You keep predicting tight games. Well, that's what they're turning out to be. And I expect another very tight game for this game as well, Jack. I'd love to sit here and be deluded, but I can't.
I mean, you just save your delusion for, another week, Dave. That's totally fine. Lock it up, store it up. Yeah, save it for another time. But you're right. I mean, go with the trend. And they've been very tight games, and that's what you should probably be thinking about. But that's why you saved the Profitron for last, to try to convince him maybe of a bigger scoreline or a bigger prediction. He's in the dark, so maybe he'll light the world up with a big prediction here. Let's see what the Tron has to say.
Hopefully he can get me going for this game. I'm tired today, so let's go, Tron.
Hi, this is Dermot, aka Dermotron from thfc Till I Die, your home of Tottenham past, present and an exciting future under Ange Postecoglou. This is my match day prediction of Everton versus Tottenham Hotspur at Goodison Park on Saturday. Look, good win last night, exciting win, bad first half, but Højbjerg and Johnson came on. Good performance from Højbjerg. Glad Johnson got his goal. It proves that I'm right, that he will be a great player, and I will continue to back him as well. Look, Everton, it's not going to be an easy game. It depends which Everton comes out. Is it going to be an Everton that's going to roll over and die, or is it going to be an Everton that will stand up and fight? It's very hard. But look, I'm going for a 4-0 Tottenham win. We're going to batter them. We are back. Ange, all the way to top 4. Come on, you Spurs, in Big Ange we trust. Woohoo!
He's feeling good, the Tron. He's feeling good. 4-0 and a big woohoo towards the end. Not even a come on. He's got a 4-0 woohoo performance. And if we grab 4 goals, your man Johnson better be scoring then, Mr. Tron. And he's always finding a way to show that he's right. And that's why I call him the Prophet Tron. But Dave, 4-0. And he's sort of right with the fact that Everton, it's going to be maybe 2 versions of Everton, either their best self, which will cause us a lot of problems, or maybe they actually might not just show up on the day and we get away with maybe, a less than confident Everton, or maybe not so good as Everton, as maybe we're sometimes seeing.
Look, I think Dermot, he's right. They are on pretty poor form at the minute. However, I do think someone needs to take the toffees off him. The sugar has gone to his head. 4-0 definitely won't happen from the half-12 kickoff. Definitely not. If it is, I'll hold my hands up and I'll praise him Monday night on the fan show. And just with the Johnson thing, I mean, I was texting him after the Brentford game, or after the game before the Brentford game, and he gave up on him. So I'm not sure, he can't just come out and claim him when he's playing well. He has to stick through the kid on the bad times, So Dermot, I'm not going to let you away with that, my man. I spoke to you after the previous game before Brentford, after the City game, and you were ready to give up on him, my man. So I'm not having that. That's foul play. Red card for Dermot. Wait there. Red card for Dermot. Red Dermot.
Revision-tron is maybe what we should call him, the revisionist. He's revising his predictions. Big up to Dermotron. We always give him a hard time, but he's thanks again for sending in your prediction. Check out THFC Till I Die for just a guy that puts a smile on our face. I bet he'll put a smile on yours. But Dave, your prediction, final words you have to say before we wrap this one up?
Yeah, 2-1, half-12 kickoff. Tottenham don't usually do well. Haven't kept a clean sheet in 13 plus games now. I think it's going to be a tight affair. I think it's going to be a slow, sluggish sort of game for the majority of it. I just hope Tottenham can start fast and get the job done early and catch Everton unawares, Jacko. What about yourself, my man?
I'm struggling between 3 different score lines. I see a 3-2, a 2-2, or a 2-1. I do see Everton scoring. They just find a way often, especially they just sort of force it into the net, kind of at times with just sort of their very physical players from set pieces and whatnot. But also Spurs are just sort of the team that when we go down, we usually find a way to come back by the looks of things. Just how much do we come back by? How many goals do we end up getting? And also really sometimes depends on who scores first, because if you score first, gives you that momentum to maybe see out the rest of the game as well. So I'm going to go for the 2-1. I do see a 3-2, though, as well on the cards. Could be a big scoring sort of fixture. Weirdly enough, I see it.
Well, look, let's wait and see what happens. But, guys, what we want from you is tell us who your favourite prediction is. Also, give us your pre-match thoughts and your score predictions in the comment section below. That's how you can take part in this. And, guys, big up to all the content creators for taking the time out of their very busy schedules this week to deliver over the videos. Make sure you click on the links and get over and support their channels. As always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
In the mighty hands we trust. We never stop.
We never stop. In the big Ange we trust. See everybody.